Welcome to Strong and Steady, where we talk about building strength, supporting your health, and choosing sustainable wellness for women in every season of life.
And I'm Brittany. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica. She's a mom of 4 littles with such a grounded, realistic approach to balance for low-tox living. She helps busy moms build healthy habits that actually work in real life without perfection or overwhelm.
And I'm Jessica, here with Brittany, a woman's health and fitness coach who specializes in elite aging. She helps women build strong bones and muscles so they can live their whole lives to the fullest with confidence, strength, and independence.
And together, we have over 2 decades specializing in the health and fitness industry. So whether you're in the thick of young motherhood
or focused on staying strong for the long run,
we are so glad you're here.
Welcome back. Okay, so first, welcome back to our lock-in episode on energy drinks. Last week, we talked about energy during pregnancy. We mentioned energy drinks briefly, and we let you know that the next episode, this week's episode, we would be focusing more on energy drinks. So here's the funny part. We recorded our whole episode on energy drinks. We were so excited to share it with you all. It was packed full of so much just good information. And I opened it up today to edit and realized half of the episode just did not save. So that will be coming. We are still doing an energy drink episode today. And so I'm going to do kind of more of a locked-in episode. So it's still going to be kind of fast, like our other locked-in episodes. Fast, quick, to the point, still lots of great information. And then in the future, we will be doing that longer episode as well. Because like I said, there was so much good information on there. We were so excited to share it. But life happened, timing happened. We just did not have time to re-record the rest of it before. So today's Monday. This episode will drop Wednesday. So yeah, life lesson. But yes, so let's jump in. Again, welcome, lock-in episode. Get ready. The truth about energy drinks. So first, this is a reminder, like, this conversation is not about shaming anyone. You know, energy drinks, this is more of a let's be aware of what is in our energy drinks and be mindful of the ones we are picking if you are needing some energy drinks. But also, let's take a moment and take a step back and look at why are we needing those energy drinks. So like we talked about last time, energy drinks have become just kind of very, very mainstream, very much a part of our lives. Everyone's tired. Moms are tired. Professionals are tired. Students. It's almost normal now to function in a constant state of exhaustion, which is really sad. I've heard it before, and it's a great reminder that just because something is common does not mean it's normal. I'm pretty sure Brittany's even said it on here before. But yeah, just because something's common does not mean it's normal, and that doesn't mean we should just be going with the flow. We should be stopping and asking, why are we so tired? And so we're going to look at it and talk about what is actually in many of these energy drinks. Again, this is not every single energy drink out there, but for kind of what's being marketed today, this is what's out there. And that's the other thing, you know, marketing, they just push it all on you. Is it bright? Is it colorful? Get that quick buzz. They don't really stop to help you figure out what's going on and really help you solve the solution. They're kind of more so just throwing a Band-Aid on it. But one thing I found interesting is that many energy drinks actually contain anywhere from 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine in a single can or cup or serving. And so that's often equivalent to multiple cups of coffee consumed very quickly. So that's where we are getting like that huge spike of what feels like an energy burst coming from. But what's important to understand is that caffeine doesn't actually create energy. It works by blocking, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but blocking the adenosine receptors in the brain, which temporarily makes you feel less tired. So these energy drinks aren't, creating energy for us to go, go, go. It's just kind of creating a false sense that we have energy. But those energy drinks are not, like I said, they're not creating that energy. And so that need for rest doesn't disappear. We're essentially just delaying that signal that our brain's telling us, hey, you need to stop and rest. This can be especially a problem if you're already dealing with poor sleep, chronic stress, blood sugar issues, or nutrient deficiencies. So let's talk about some of the other ingredients commonly found in energy drinks too. Many contain a synthetic B vitamin and market themselves as being packed with lots of nutrients. But just because something contains vitamins and nutrients doesn't automatically make it a health product. And I've heard this argument before, like, "Oh, I can drink this because it has vitamins." The thing with that is many of those are in the form that's created through, industrial manufacturing. They are, they're man-made. They are processed. They are usually chemicals in them as well. And they're not coming from real whole foods. Okay, so some of the other ingredients commonly found in energy drinks as well. Um, you see a lot say, oh, these are packed full of vitamins. And so people are like, oh, vitamins, like vitamins are good for me. Let's grab them. Let's do it. This is actually healthy. The problem is, like many of them contain B vitamins, but those and the other vitamins in there typically are created through industrial manufacturing process rather than coming from whole foods. And so, as we know, man is not perfect, and most of the time, the stuff we're making is not actually helping our bodies when it comes to foods and vitamins. It's just highly processed, and most of the time, our bodies can't even absorb them, especially with vitamins. And so, if your body can't absorb them, your body's just peeing them out. And that's where we see a lot of like that bright yellow Mountain Dew pee coming out. Is usually just the vitamins passing right through us because our body did not absorb them because they are in synthetic form. You also commonly find artificial sweeteners like sucralose and I'm not going to say this right, acesulfame, potassium. I think I got close. And so these are often marketed as healthy alternatives because they're sugar free. But what some research is saying is that it actually impacts our gut microbiomes, cravings, and metabolic health in certain individuals. Um, and I may have shared this on last week's episode. I honestly don't remember if it's last week's episode or if it's the one we tried recording. But being a diabetic, when I got diagnosed, honestly, at that time, I was a huge Pepsi drinker. Like, I still like having it sometimes, but I mean, back then it was like a daily thing. If my parents were not around, I could easily have three, four, five, six Pepsis in a day. It was not healthy, but being diagnosed, I knew diabetes. In my mind, then diabetes meant no sugar. And so I asked them. I said, "Well, can I have diet?" Like, or no, I said, "Can I still have my Pepsi?" That was one of my main questions. My two questions were, "Can I still have kids? Can I have Pepsi?" Um, and so they were kind of like, "Well, on occasion, but you really should have a diet soda instead." And what they pretty much failed to tell us, and what I've learned now is that diet sodas, like in these energy drinks too, is these artificial sweeteners, sucralose, I know, like aspartame in diet drinks, they mess with your gut because they essentially um you're drinking it, your body's seeing like this stuff coming in, and it's saying, "Oh, like let me get ready for this stuff coming." Sorry if you hear my kids in the background. But it's like, "Oh, let me like get the insulin going, let me get ready." And then like that sugar and the calories or the sugar doesn't come, and so then it's messing with your blood sugar because it's like, wait, you just drank something, so we sent insulin, but there's nothing there for the insulin, and this, that, and the other, which then creates more cravings, and you kind of see that cycle going, and so it's really just messing with your body. Um, Other things in many of the energy drinks as well are food dyes. We have talked about this before. It was on our low tox episode, and so we did lots of talking about food dyes then. But just as a reminder, or if you haven't gotten to listen to that episode yet, food dyes they mess with you. And so ones like red 40, yellows, blues, and so thankfully, like at least in the US, we are moving towards, eliminating a lot of those food dyes and banning them. But it is still taking a while to roll out. And so these dyes, they've been linked to cancers. Um, I know some they're finding linked with like ADHD or affecting ADHD more. Um, I forget all of them. Again, if you go back to our low tox episode, but just like yeah, it messes with us. I even said, like, when I've noticed now, if I eat like a piece of candy that has some red dye in it, I notice like I'm getting more angry. Our oldest son, when he has dye, like you can just tell the effects on him. Like you can see in him that he doesn't have as much control as his body as usual. And so yeah, they are throwing those in energy drinks. That's what's creating a lot of these like bright neon colors. And what also surprises many people is that those dyes are actually petroleum derived. And so, yeah, I feel, yeah, enough said there. You definitely do not want it in your body. So the same goes for artificial flavors and certain preservatives. Many are created through highly processed chemical manufacturing methods and exist primarily to improve shelf life, flavor, or appearance. So if you notice, none of that is for helping our bodies. It's just for how it looks and how long it can last, essentially. Um, and a little bit of the flavor, which, we do like flavors, but again, it's not in a way that's actually helping us. And so, another ingredient you'll often see, again, I don't know if I'm going to say this right. I'm going to try, but I think it's taurine, Taurine. But that itself isn't necessarily something to fear. It is an amino acid naturally found in the body and in food like meat and fish. The concern with this isn't usually, the again, taurine by itself, but it's the combination of it with large amounts of caffeine and other stimulants, especially when those products are consumed regularly. Another one you may also see is, again, guarana, Guarana. And so guarana is a plant, but it's naturally rich in caffeine. So what's happening is when it's added to an energy drink that already contains caffeine, it increases the overall stimulant load beyond what you may be seeing and realizing. And so because it's not in the so like the label has caffeine 200 milligrams. That's the caffeine part. This ingredient is adding to it. It's adding more essentially caffeine to it that we're not realizing. Um, and so that's where, it is affecting us more than we realize. Like we're thinking we're getting X amount of caffeine, but there's actually more stimulant in it that is, yeah, it's raising it up. And then if you're having a couple of them a day, you're getting even more than you think. And so, again, like the issue isn't necessarily one single ingredient. It's that many people are using energy drinks every day to override what their bodies are trying to tell them. So, if you're constantly exhausted, that may be a sign your body needs more sleep, more protein, better hydration, more minerals, more nutrient dense food, or better blood support. Now, I hear all of the moms of babies laughing at me, going, yeah, more sleep, that's not happening. I've got a baby who wakes up multiple times a night. Totally understand that. Like, we have been there. We are starting to come out of that season, knock on wood. But it's the idea, too, of like, you're being, you're mindful. Okay, like, I am tired because baby's not sleeping. And so it's finding ways to let your body rest. And again, I know I hear some of you laughing at me going, I have other kids, I have this. One thing we did, especially in the newborn phases, So our older three, they were 3 under 3, and it was hard. And one thing we implemented was family nap time. So, especially when they were younger, now that they're older, it's mostly the weekends. But for us, it was 1 p.m. every day. It was nap time. Now, as they started getting older, like our oldest stopped taking naps by about 2.5, 3. And so it became quiet time. Sometimes it was being able to watch a show or build his train tracks, things like that. But everyone went to their own room, and I sat down, usually on the couch, and usually that's when I ate my lunch. Sometimes watched a show, sometimes took a nap. Usually baby was with me, but it was that time of just to stop and rest. I was not doing dishes, I was not vacuuming. Maybe I did like a 5 minute cleanup, but it was not much. But so essentially, it's taking that time to be mindful to rest. I know it's hard as moms in general, but especially as moms, it's hard for us to ask for help. But if you are really struggling, ask for help. Ask a friend to come watch your kid for even 30 minutes so you can go shower or catch a quick nap. Something long. It's okay to ask for help. Help is not weakness. But again, there are other things you can do to still help your body feel more energized. So, like we said, prioritizing protein, making sure to drink your water, water with electrolytes and minerals to help you actually stay hydrated, nutrient dense food, and then usually that will also help with your blood sugar support. You may need some additional, but taking that time to focus on that, whether it's meal prepping, whether it's again asking for some help, asking a friend to, cook you a nutrient protein based food and drop it off. I know like in our community, we have a moms group here, and so there are oftentimes we are bringing each other meals and we're saying, what types of meals do you want, don't you want? Like for me, I'm not a huge spaghetti sauce fan, so usually that's on there. Or for us, it says no dyes. But you could even put on, if someone's doing a meal train for you, say, hey, I just need protein. And again, asking for help is not a weakness. Like we were not made to do this alone. We were made to do this together and to have that village. Um, Okay, sorry, that was a little tangent. But so I also want to be clear that we're not saying all energy drinks are bad. This is not like an anti-energy drink episode. Brittany, she was sharing too. She does take an energy drink. I use an energy capsule because me and drinks, I'd rather just take a capsule. My husband uses the same one Brittany does. So she uses Active. I use Edge. Again, my husband uses the Active as well. And so this episode is just kind of that reminder to stop and just look at what is in your energy drinks. I know we had talked about it on the one that didn't record, but how scary it is and how it's so sad seeing on Facebook happening more often recently are especially teens, being hospitalized or even dying from these energy drinks. And I know sometimes we can think, oh, those are teens, it's not us, but like what's happening to their body is happening to us. Like it's our bodies are, a little older and maybe, as some would say, able to handle it better, but at the same time it is going to catch up to us if that's our daily life. There is going to be a time that it does catch up. And so the point isn't that every product marketed for energy is automatically bad. The point is that we should be informed consumers because not all energy drinks are created equal. So take your, energy drink can, your package, if it's powder, whatever it is, flip it over and start reading labels. You'll notice a huge difference between products. Some contain that excess amounts of caffeine, artificial sweeteners, artificial dyes, proprietary plants, and just a laundry list of ingredients that most likely you can't even pronounce. But others do focus more intentional ingredient choices and are designed to support energy differently, and sometimes even our gut as well. Brittany and I are huge on gut health, and so that's why we always encourage people to read the ingredients and actually take a look at what's in there. So again, you're wanting to think of like how much caffeine is there, where is the caffeine coming from, Are there artificial dyes, artificial sweeteners? Can I pronounce these ingredients? And is it something that, I'm okay putting in my body? Because at the end of the day, it's not really about the energy drink itself, it's about awareness. If you're choosing an energy product because you enjoy it and you've done your homework on the ingredients, that's very different from grabbing whatever is on the shelf without knowing what's in it and drinking it daily or multiple times a day, however it may be. But it's also important to remember that even better options aren't a replacement for the foundations of health. Hydration still matters, protein still matters, sleep still matters, minerals still matters, managing stress still matters. That's a big one. I know. So no drink can actually like fully replace that. So our encouragement today is simple. Be curious, read labels, ask questions, and make informed choices. As always, the goal isn't the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. So, I'm going to close there. Thank you for listening. As always, if you have questions, you can email us. You can find us on Instagram and let us know. If you haven't followed us on Spotify, please go give us a follow. That really helps our podcast channel a lot. Give us a subscribe there. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us some comments. We love hearing from you guys and interacting with you. And a lot of that is what shapes our podcast episodes. It's just being in conversations and hearing kind of what questions you have, what's going on in your circle, your group, and discussions you're having. And so, yeah, reach out, let us know. We would love to talk to you. One more thing is, so next week, we will most likely be taking a week off, not posting a new episode. It may last for 2 weeks. So Brittany and I, we are actually getting ready for our convention. So we will be together. We are super excited. We're hoping to actually record an episode while we are together. But as we are preparing for that, we are just going to take a week off from, all the editing and posting and stuff. But we still want to hear from you all. So please do reach out. And yeah, have a great week. We will see you next time. Share this episode with one of your friends who maybe you guys love drinking energy drinks together. Maybe you found something interested in this episode. Send it to them. Say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to come hang out with us over on Instagram. You can find us at The Strong and Steady. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time on Strong and Steady.